If you thought OneUI 8 was peak Samsung, wait till you see OneUI 8.5. Honestly, it doesn't feel like just a 0.5 update, and it feels like legit OneUI 9 if you ask me. Because there are full-fledged changes to animations, design, features, and a whole lot more. Here are 10 of the best new features in OneUI 8.5 that are going to get every single Samsung fan out there super excited. Alright, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm Ashad. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. The very first change that you guys are all going to love is in the quick settings panel. You can legit resize any toggle that you want and move them up and about in the entire area that is available for you. For example, you can have the Bluetooth toggle to be bigger. You can reduce the size of the brightness toggle. You can increase the size of the music player within the notification panel. It's just customization paradise out there. I absolutely love this change. The second thing that I want to highlight is that Samsung has cleaned up the design quite a bit. For example, now when you open the pin lock, you will notice that there's a little bit of a depth effect that you can see where you can actually see the wallpaper through it. Kind of cool. And there are pill-shaped contextual menus throughout the system. For example, take a look at the app drawer now. You can see that the search bar at the bottom is pill-shaped and it's smaller now. In fact, in most system apps, Samsung has done away with the traditional navigation bar. What you get is that pill-shaped overlay, which I find very modern in terms of design. Now, talking about the lock screen design, you do have new additional clock styles. They're good, but they're not as good as I would say Oxygen OS. There are a lot of changes to the gallery app, and most of which are very useful to end users. For example, you now have a private album option within the gallery app, so you don't need to store your private photos inside secure folder now. Now, when you want to edit images and you use the photo assist tool and you use AI tools like AI Eraser, you actually have history of all of your edits, which means that you can now do continuous AI-based edits one after the other without losing the information of the previous edit that you made. So you can go back and forth, which is damn cool and something that no other phone is doing right now. And like I said, you also get redesigned pill-shaped overlays within the gallery app as well. For example, when you open a photo and you pinch to zoom, all of the contextual menu goes away, but when you tap on the image once again, you will see that the contextual menu pops up once again. And again, this design is very modern compared to the navigation bar at the bottom. There are a bunch of changes to the camera app that we noticed as well. You now get cleaner categories, so basically the arrangement of the categories are better, and you get a clean preview toggle within the pro mode now, which means that once you hit that toggle, all of your ISO, aperture, or shutter speed, all of those information go away, which means that you can see more of what you want to frame within the camera app itself, which is a creator-specific benefit that Samsung has added, and Samsung's doing this a lot with OneUI 8.5, by the way. In fact, now you can use audio eraser even in log videos. And you know what? In fact, Samsung has added the option to add LUTs now. There are very few LUTs available right now that you can choose from, and there is no option to add a custom LUT, but maybe it'll come in the future. There's also one thing very peculiar that I noticed within the camera app is single take and dual view recording are missing. I'm guessing this is just the first beta, and maybe they will add that later, and I really hope that Samsung does it, because these are two of the coolest features that you can get with Samsung phones and Samsung cameras, by the way. Samsung Internet has also received an update where you can actually have your tabs in different kinds of views. For example, there is the list view, but you also have the tab and the grid view. There are a bunch of changes to the settings app as well. When you look at the categories within the settings app, you will notice that the second row of information has now been wiped away, which makes the design look much cleaner. And I like it actually, because if you want to see what's inside the category, you can tap on it anyway. In fact, you now get a new redesigned page in the battery and the device care setting as well, and both of these look damn cool. There are a bunch of changes made to the Dex mode. Samsung is finally giving importance to Dex mode once again. So basically now you have an updated page design, which is nice, and you also can hit the command plus the arrow key now to switch between windows. And by the way, finally, Dex has added the option for multiple desktops, just like how you would do on a PC. Thank you, Samsung, for adding this. Another interesting addition is the fact that you can now do screen recording within the Dex environment as well. One of the new interesting AI features that Samsung had introduced with the S25 Ultra was Now Brief. But a lot of people didn't end up using Now Brief. Even I didn't use it much. However, there are some upgrades to that as well. For example, you now have the audio brief option, which you can toggle from within the settings itself. And with this audio brief option, obviously it will give you an audio brief of the Now Brief feature. You can also add Nano Banana image creation as a Now Brief option now, which is damn cool as well. You must be wondering, there are no updates to the icon design. Well, unfortunately, there are none because it's an 8.5 update, but Samsung has smoothed out the animation slightly. One thing I noticed is that when you actually swipe up from the home screen to the app drawer, it's kind of smoother compared to OneUI 8. In fact, overall throughout the system, I feel like, especially with the system level apps, the animations feel smoother. And finally, for all the new extra features that you get with One UI 8.5. Now you can actually do an audio broadcast using the phone with the Auracast feature and Bluetooth LE connectivity, which is basically low energy. With this, you can broadcast your voice or media, and anybody with an Auracast enabled device can actually listen to your broadcast. In fact, you can also listen to anybody else's broadcast using this Auracast feature. Partial screen recording has finally made its way to One UI 8.5, which is nice. And I saved the best feature for last, and that is the storage share feature that you can enable with any Samsung device around you. And the name of the feature is quite representative of what it actually does. I find this pretty cool actually. So these are the 10 coolest features that you can get with One UI 8.5 on Samsung, and I'm sure that you all are, waiting to know when your phone is going to get it. Unfortunately, Samsung hasn't shared a timeline right now, but what we know for a fact is that India is currently getting beta updates of One UI 8.5 on Samsung Galaxy S25 devices, which is the Samsung Galaxy S25, the S25 Plus and the S25 Ultra, not the S25 Edge. All of the other devices and the official One UI 8.5 update will come later. So what do you guys think of One UI 8.5? Is it the best software experience of 2026? Because 2026 is right around the corner. Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.